What's up, guys? How you doing? Cowboy Crunk coming to you from Kabul, Afghanistan. Your war daddy right there, just like DeMarcus Lawrence, baby, trying to get this contract finished up in Kabul. But anyways, no, I wanted to go over the free agent safety market for you guys. Again, I said free agent safety market because that's where we're concerned. I'm concerned in two areas, like everyone is. I'll say it again. Until that money is spent, this money belongs to the Dallas Cowboys. We all want that money spent right. We have millions of Cowboy fans around the world wanting to make sure this deal is done right. We wanted to give too much money to the wrong player. And I think there's a reason Earl Thomas is still out there. Two safeties have already gotten $14 million, which is what Earl Thomas was wanting in the beginning. He wanted to be the top paid safety. He wanted to get paid more than Eric Berry. Those are things to me that are kind of red flags. I don't like to see those kind of things. To me, it's a little selfish. I understand, you're in that position. You're the best safety in the league, and he is, and I want him on our team as well. But we have issues to address. It's just like when you go shopping with your wife. You guys shop around. You don't just go out. You see a car at the car dealership. You like that car. You say, is that car still for sale? Yeah, it's still for sale. We'll take it. You negotiate. You work on things. If it doesn't work out, instead of getting I don't know anything about Toyotas, but instead of getting the Altima, you get the Elantra. That's where we're at. Instead of getting the Mustang, you get the Focus or whatever. You know what I'm saying? We've got to work this deal out. We've got to check on Earl Thomas, and I do believe we should check on him. But guys, I really think we can get a safety in the draft. We're picking 58th. If you look at the last two drafts, at 58, you're still looking at the third or fourth best safety coming out of the NCAA. You're going to get a top-tier safety at 58. You're not going to get a top-tier lineman at 58. Defensive lineman and offensive lineman, you might be looking at about the 6th or 7th best offensive lineman. Defensive line or tackle, edge rusher, you're probably looking at about the 15th best guy coming out of the league. As you guys can see, I'm an advocate for Taco Charlton as well. I'm an advocate for any player that's already on our team especially. I think our safety team is going to be a little better this year. Xavier Woods is young. Frazier is young. I think Jeff Heath has hit his peak. He's about at his peak. They've got another year with Chris Richard. If we could bring in a decent $6-7 million a year safety, it is an upgrade. It gives us depth, and we still have money to go spend a little bit more than that even on a defensive tackle or defensive lineman. And I would prefer to do that, or just safety, first round pick, 58, you get the third or fourth best safety out of the draft. And if you guys look, there's a bunch of them out there. Guys, the safety, no one has hit Earl Thomas up because he would have took $14 million, so that wasn't offered to him. $14 million has not been offered to him. That's obvious. He would have taken it. Tyrann Mathieu, he's better than Tyrann Mathieu. Why wouldn't they have went after him for 14? I think it's the leg issue. I hope it's not a problem. And the NFL has a way of, they don't go out there and say this guy has injuries. They don't put it out. They don't put you on blast like that. It's your responsibility as a team to do that research and find out about these guys and their injuries. Have them come in and take a physical. Have a doctor look at them. Go to the doctors. You have to get Earl Thomas's clearance. You got to realize this. To get any information on Earl Thomas from a doctor, you have to get his clearance. You can't go to the doctor and say, hey, what's the deal with Earl Thomas's leg? That they can't do it to me. They can't do it. That is your privileged information. You can't even do it with your kids if they're over 18. You guys know that. If you've got older kids or grandkids that are, or your children, you can't do it. Once your son's married, it's responsibility of your wife. If your son's in the hospital and it's an extreme emergency, they go to the wife and ask what she wants. So that's the way it is. You can't get medical information on Earl Thomas. I think that might be the issue. That's why he wasn't hit up for $14 million, because he would have took it. The other option is maybe he's holding out for the Cowboys. Maybe he was offered 14 and he said, nope, I want to go to the Cowboys. Cowboys aren't going to offer him that. What I think we need to do is get a defensive lineman, because defensive linemen take 2 to 3 years to get that man strength. The most dangerous place in the world, guys, I'm telling you, other than Kabul, Afghanistan, is between that offensive line and the defensive line. That is a man spot. You don't see guys come in there second round, third round, dominating or making a big effect. We could go out for $14 million and we could sign Ndamukong Suh. Ndamukong Suh just did a 1-year deal with the Rams last year for $14 million. Go out, you spend $14 million on Ndamukong Suh. You bring Taco Charlton along. You got Tyrone Crawford already there. You got DeMarcus Lawrence is going to be signing. That is an offense. That's a defensive line right there. Taco Charlton, Antoine Woods, Ndamukong Suh, DeMarcus Lawrence, and Tyrone Crawford. Think about that, guys. Then you got your number 1 pick coming out of the draft as the number 50 at the 58th pick. You pick a safety. We'll get the 3rd or 4th. We'll minimum get the 4th best safety out of the draft. And we've drafted so well lately, guys, especially on the defensive backfield side, and I think we've done well at receiver as well. We do it really good at specialty, like finesse type players that need speed, and Leighton Vander Esch. Nobody, projected that guy to go that way. None of us did, hardly. Actually, I don't know anyone that did. But that's why I think we need to go defensive line, because it'll be effective now. We're in our window. We draft a defensive lineman. We'll get the 15th best defensive lineman at 58. Or we can get the 3rd best safety. And we'll get that safety at about $3 million a year versus, or $2 million a year, versus getting a, getting a defensive lineman, paying a safety $15 million a year, getting a defensive lineman at $2 or $3 million a year, and we have to sit around and wait for 2 or 3 years for him to develop like we did Taco Charlton. And that's fine. Taco Charlton wasn't expected to come in and dominate his first year. We were looking at a player that could possibly take over for DeMarcus Lawrence or help him. And that hasn't worked out so well, but he's going to be better this year too. So Antoine Woods, DeMarcus Lawrence, Tyrone Crawford, and you throw a Ndamukong Suh in there, and man, we've got our line. That would be a huge upgrade on our line. And then we go with a 1st-round draft pick on the safety. That's what I think, guys. And I'm looking this over right now. I'm going to run down the safeties that have already been taken in front of Earl Thomas and got even close to Earl Thomas money. First of all, you had 2 safeties, as you guys know. Well, I'm going to go in order that I have it here. The Houston Texans let go Tyrann Mathieu. Tyrann Mathieu was let go. He made, I can't recall what he made last year, about 7 or 8 mil. He's making 14 this year. They picked up Tashawn Gibson. They still need another safety, but they paid him $3 million at 3 years for $22 million. So 3 years, $22 million for Tashawn Gibson. They're probably looking to pick up another safety, but they won't be able to get a high-end safety. They're going to have to wait it out and see what safeties are left and pick one of those guys up, because they lost 2 safeties. The next safety was picked up by Tyrann Mathieu was picked up, as you guys know, by the Kansas City Chiefs. They needed help on defense, and they've got it now. $42 million contract, $14 million a year. Next safety was LaMarcus Joyner, is expected to sign with the Oakland Raiders. LaMarcus Joyner expected to sign with the Oakland Raiders, but he has the terms of the contract are not released. Antoine Bethea, 2-year contract to the New York Giants. He replaces Landon Collins. Safety Landon Collins goes to Washington. 6-year deal, $84 million, $45 guaranteed. Okay, why would you not offer that to Earl Thomas, and go a shorter distance? They were concerned about their safety, or the Giants released him, and the Washington Redskins decided to pick him up, but supposedly Earl Thomas is ahead of him on the selection process, but it didn't work out that way. Adrian Amos, 4-year deal, $37 million, $21 guaranteed. You're looking at about 4-year deal. You're looking at about a little over $9 million a year. Next safety is LaMarcus Joyner, 4-year deal to the Rams, and Eric Weddle, also 2-year deal to the Rams. They picked up 2 safeties. San Francisco is still kind of maybe in the hunt for Earl Thomas. That's the one place that he may end up going if the Cowboys don't get him. And that's it. But guys, as you can see, I just called out 6 or 7 safety names. And the biggest thing is 2 of them were given $14 million a year. 2 of them were given contracts that Earl Thomas would have signed. 2 of them went to teams that I think Earl Thomas would have went to if the money was right, which that money was right. That's similar to what he was asking for. So to me, obviously, one of 2 things. He's either holding out and he wants more than that, which I don't think is it, and he didn't want to go to those teams, or he's waiting on the Cowboys to call him, and I don't think they're going to call him at the price they're looking at. With the moves we've made, the money we've freed up, I know they are interested in Earl Thomas. I seriously would be more interested in bringing in a defensive lineman that can help us right now in getting a Clinton Dix, or getting one of the other guys left, the guy from the Chargers. I really liked him as well. He's a big, long, rangy safety, just like Chris Richard likes. And like I said, I think our safety crew is going to step it up a notch. I think Kayvon Frazier and Xavier Woods are getting better, while Jeff Heath is at his plateau. You know, he might have been in his plateau last year, but still, our group is up and coming a little bit. They are young. But we need more help on the defensive line than I think we do. And at the safety position, well, I think the need is about the same. But I think the more instant fix is either spend a buttload of money on a safety and it fixes the problem, but then you've got to address the defensive tackle position and you have no money and you can't do it in the draft. You will not do it in the draft at 58. Now flip that around. We spend money on a defensive lineman, Adamakin Suh, 1-year deal, $14 million, and then we go get that safety. We get the 3rd best safety or 4th best safety in the draft, maybe the 2nd best safety. And as well as we've drafted at those specialty type positions with speed and agility, we've done good at corner. We've done good at safety with Xavier Woods, with Byron Jones. I think we're better at picking those kind of guys. So my idea, go defensive lineman, go get Adamakin Suh, get one of the other guys over there if he's not available. I've heard he doesn't want to leave the West Coast. I heard he doesn't want to come to the Texas area, but I think we could convince him if he thinks he's going to get a ring. The Cowboys are a different kind of team. When you reach out, when Jerry Jones calls you, people answer the phone. And that could be another reason nobody's talking to Earl Thomas. Maybe Jerry Jones put the word out. Hey, y'all leave Earl Thomas the hell alone. I'm gonna make him drop his price, and then I'm gonna call him. And if anybody calls Earl Thomas, I'm gonna take care of business. Maybe he pulled some mafioso Warzone, Dallas Cowboy Warzone shit or something. I don't know, but there's some reason Earl Thomas is not getting called. Check out my video where it shows he broke his leg, and I don't think the injury there was really not that big of a hit to cause that situation. And then again, the fact that you can't get medical information on Earl Thomas unless you go to him, and then he don't have to give it to you as well. The only thing you can do is put a contract in front of him and then have the doctor say, with this contract you got to get a physical, and then you can do it. So he may be avoiding that. He may be avoiding that whole situation because he doesn't want to have a physical. He's going to have one sooner or later. So I don't know, guys. I'm not down in Earl Thomas. I want him too, but I want him for the right price, and I don't want to screw up our team. I think it's best if we're spending the money, get a defensive tackle that'll help us today and draft a safety that'll help us today, versus drafting a safety that'll help us today, or paying a free agent price for a safety that'll help us today, and we're drafting a defensive tackle that won't help us for a couple years. That's my idea, guys. I'm just throwing it at you because if this Earl Thomas thing doesn't happen, I don't want to see a million people out there upset about it. It's really not that big a deal. I think we should go the other way. So Cowboy Crunk, a little bit of knowledge from me. Maybe I'm stupid, maybe it doesn't make sense, but let me know what you think, guys. Put it in the comment box if I'm stupid. I don't mind hearing it. Like and subscribe. This video is my thoughts, and that's the way I think we should go. Thanks, guys. Peace.